Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with, of course, head coach Scott Langer. Coach, a lot to unravel over the weekend. Before we dive into that, though, I want to congratulate the Cougar Pee Wee C hockey team on winning their state championship yesterday. So congratulations to the Aberdeen Cougar Pee Wee C team. As Friday night, Coach, a 6-1 win. A game where you outshot Minot 46-22. Power play went 2 of 7. There was a hat trick, a fight, major penalties that led to suspensions. There's a lot of things going on there on Friday night, but you guys really kind of broke it open there in the third period. What did you take away from Friday night?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good step for our guys. You know, the type of play that was brought into our building, certainly something that we had to get through and fight through, and we did that. And I thought for the most part we were a pretty disciplined hockey team, and you know, eventually if we stay smart, we're going to score some goals, and we did that. And I thought Will Arquette obviously had a really big night. Not just the fact that he scored the goals, it was his energy level that really helped us swing that game.
Well, you know, and I mentioned it, you know, at some point during the broadcast that, you know, you had talked about Arquette, the drive, the determination that guys like him have, and you've got a lot of them on this team, you know, with Nielsen and Matsui, and I mean, there's a lot of hard-working guys on your team, and I think it shows. And you know, sometimes maybe one guy's not feeling it, somebody else like Will picks it up that night, and it's pretty cool to see the amount of determination and hard work that they do put into it, and it results again in a 6-1 win. I think discipline was a big thing over the course of the weekend, because it would have been easy to kind of lose your head or get caught up in some of the things that were happening. But you guys stayed true to playing the game and come away with that wins on Friday. And then Saturday, a little different story. Your first and second period, pretty tight. Again, a game where you broke it open in the third, but outshot Minot 45-28 and 2 of 3 on the power play. What did you guys think of Saturday night?
Yeah, slow start. Mm-hmm. You know, came out a little slow in the first period, so we had to put some things together there, and heading out in the second. But I thought our second period was good, and our third period was even better. And you know, when teams come in here and they're playing their 5th, 6th periods of the weekend, you know, it's good for us to play our best hockey against them at that time. And you know, again, I thought it was an effort that. The game could have got out of control, and our guys did a real good job of staying disciplined and worrying about the 2 points as opposed to anything else.
Yeah. Well, that's not always the easiest thing. I mentioned a fight and with a guy that, honestly, it surprised me to see him drop him at center ice with one of their biggest guys. I wanted to ask you about what your thoughts are when you see one of your skilled players like that. Obviously, he's going to be out for 10. But there's a danger of injury, all kinds of things. Is that something where you're like, you'd rather not have him be the one to do that, or?
I think for Nathan that was a big growing step for him, actually. Mm-hmm. You know, he's never fought in a game of hockey, and you know, I guess it wasn't really on his terms. I would say, you know, they had sent a guy out to jump him, and the kid was 220 pounds, and I thought Nate did a great job hanging in there, and it was great. The bench loved it. The team loved it. And I think it was great for Nate. I think he grew as a hockey player that night. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because somebody commented to me that it seems like sometimes teams pick up on the fact that maybe he doesn't play his best when it's a physical game. And it kind of struck me that it was almost like he just had enough. Like he was just like, you know what, I'm not putting up with this anymore. And I thought he did a great job for being undersized like he was in holding his own. And I even heard that from some of the Minot guys. So again, congratulations on a big weekend here at the Odie, obviously outscoring them 11-1 overall. I wanted to talk a little about the crowd, because I can't really remember a crowd that was that vocal. They were really into it, especially on Saturday night. What does that do for your bench and for your team when you see those people up on their feet, yelling and screaming, and just a great crowd on as far as capacity-wise, but just the energy they brought too?
You know, it certainly keeps our guys going. You know, it's one fun thing about our environment is that the fans are fully engaged. Mm-hmm. It's you know, there's venues that have a lot of people in it, but they're not to be fully engaged in everything that goes on. I mean, they're living and dying every call and every icing and every goal, and it was loud in here, and of course it energized our guys. They absolutely love to play at the Odie, and our staff does such a great job of getting fans in the ear and doing a great job on the marketing side and all that stuff. So, it's a fun place to play, and it was loud in there this weekend, and they didn't take a liking to how things were going, and they were letting people know about it, and super excited when we won the games. A lot of fans didn't leave after those games, which it's impressive.
Yeah, I was, like you said, I mean, you could hear an audible groan from the crowd when there would be a shot that looked like it had a chance of going in or whatever. And I just kept looking over thinking, I don't remember them being quite this loud before, so it was awesome. And as you said, there's plenty of, people that weren't real happy, like you said, with the way that it was going. But they were definitely emotionally invested, that is for sure. Dominik Wasik, shutout on Saturday night. He gets the start and turned away 28 shots and had some big saves. Nice to see him in between the pipes and get some confidence going. He obviously started the season really well, but it's not always so easy for a goaltender to play behind a veteran and then come in like that. But he played really well Saturday.
Yeah, he did. And he was really good with pucks around the cage, finding pucks around the cage, and he made some real big saves with pucks that were in tight. And it is tough, to go into those situations. Playing behind a guy like Jake Seibel, who is arguably the best goaltender right now in the league. He's got to wait his time, and it doesn't allow him to get traction, which a lot of goalies want to just kind of gain some traction. But I thought he did a great job. He was mentally prepared. He did, I think they started out seven shots to our 1, so they got on us pretty quick, which didn't allow Dom to just ease into the game by any means. So he did a great job. I was really proud of his performance, and hopefully with that win, he does gain more confidence and understand that, down the stretch that he's a guy that at any time we can put in the net.
Right. Well, and it was something that occurred to me on Saturday night too, with Seibel now playing 25 games. Oftentimes, a guy does need a break, and you do need to have somebody that you can count on like that. So obviously, a huge moment and huge night for Dominik, and it was great to see the crowd cheering him on and stuff too. And like you said, not many of them left when the stars of the game came out. There were still plenty of them cheering him on. So let's see. The standings, a quick look at those. The Wings, of course, at the top of the Central Division with 55 points and 29 games played. Bismarck with 36 points and 31 games played. Minot with 29 points and 29 games played. Minnesota Wilderness, 20 points and 20 games played. Austin with 20 points and 26 games played. St. Cloud, 16 points and 24 games played. Up next is a road trip to Austin, a team that you're going to see a lot of over the next couple of weeks, and of course, last weekend as well. Austin brings a lot of different things to the table, but one of the things that you and I have talked about with them, with the Bruins, is that they're a pretty big team that plays pretty physical. You guys have seen they've got a Wednesday game too, so you'll see plenty of film and everything. What do you guys have to do coming up on the road?
I just think against Austin, you can't make too many mistakes, because the way that they play, they counter on your mistakes, and they tend to beat teams when teams make mistakes against them. So, and they're a big team that limit a lot of space. You watch their defensive zone, you don't get a lot of space offensively against them. So when you get an opportunity, you got to bury it. Yeah. And I still think their goaltenders there, they battle. And again, this is going to have to be, we're going to play them 4 in a row, so we just have to focus one game at a time right now, and worry about that first one come Friday night, and hopefully make things tough on them. And the way we do that is we just continue to play our game, like you talked about, those guys that have that nonstop work ethic. It's contagious, and I think if our team's going at that level, that we're tough to beat, and they're going to have to watch video on us. For sure.
When you play a team as often as you do the Bruins last weekend, and then the next 2 weekends in a row, things can get there can get to be some bad blood, and memories are short and so on. So discipline, I would imagine, again, coming off a weekend like we just had, discipline's probably going to play a role as well.
Well, I think it was good that, it wasn't good, but it could end up being a positive that we played in this last weekend and had to overcome some of that adversity. But I always hope as a coach that these type of series, that they don't create bad blood. Nothing good ever comes of it. Kids get hurt. It's just not good for the game. But you're right. Guys get tired of one another, and it's the games within the games that they're out there running their mouths. But it's something that we were going to, we know teams are trying to do different things against us to beat us. And this past weekend, it was run us out of the building. And, if we see that style of play, I think we can handle it. We did a great job. It's 100% mental.
Yeah.
And I think our guys did a really good job of seeing that if we do stay disciplined, stay out of the extracurricular stuff, don't be afraid of, teams that are trying to intimidate you.
Yeah.
Just be persistent with your approach, and you can have a good outcome.
Keeping a level head, you get that power play opportunity, which again, as successful as the power play was over this last weekend, that's great to see. Coach, that's about all I've got for you, though. Wish you best of luck coming up here against Austin, and we appreciate you taking some time to talk with us.
Thanks, Trey.
All right, folks, we'll be back with a player in our second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
Welcome back, folks, as we continue on with Wings Weekly. And as promised, a player is joining me. This time it's Dominik Wasik of Superior, Colorado. Thanks for coming on the show, Dom. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, most recently in the USPHL down of Coral Springs, Florida. How do you go from Colorado to Florida and then up to Aberdeen? Walk us through that journey.
Yeah, so I was playing, my U15 year, I was playing with the Rocky Mountain Rough Riders, it was a AAA team there in Colorado. And I wasn't sure if I was going to make the U16 there. And so we put my info on a website and they reached out to us, and I just heard good things about it and good coaching staff, so we went down there and really liked it. And it was probably one of my best decisions I made for not just me as a goalie, but like as a person, living away from home and stuff. I really grew as a person there.
Well, you don't have a whole lot of choice but to mature quickly in a situation like that. But it always amazes me when I talk to you guys about, what you're doing at the age of 15, 14, whatever, where most people aren't off on their own with, at that age. Great night Saturday night. Your, I believe, second shutout of the season, 143 goals against average, 1.43 that is, goals against average, and a .945 save percentage. Got to feel pretty good to get out there and see a bunch of shots early on. I mean, they came out with and put quite a bit of pressure on you early on in the first, but you stood tall and turned everything away. How did Saturday night feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. I think the team played well. The boys made it a little bit easier on me as they started to pick it up during the game, and yeah, I think we got the results we wanted to.
Yeah, well, couple of wins, that's exactly what you want for sure. I wanted to talk a little about playing behind a guy like Jake Seibel, who statistically is the best goaltender in the league, but a veteran. It was here last year, and he's going to get more minutes and stuff. And like I talked with Coach Langer about just a little bit ago, it can't be that easy, but yet, because, you have to kind of bide your time, so to speak. And I've talked with other goaltenders in the past too about having the patience and being able to learn and kind of grow as the season goes along. Can you walk me through that a little bit? How does it feel to be watching a guy like Seibel and thinking, man, I'd like to get some minutes here too, or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Jake's a great goalie and a great person, and yeah, it's definitely it's a little bit hard, but it gives me something to grow on as a person, and learn from Jake. And he was here last year, so I got to be a cheerleader at times and be there for the team and support them.
Yeah. Well, I always say that it's interesting, especially for a younger goaltender, that their time is coming. Like maybe it's next year, maybe whatever. It can't always be the easiest thing. And of course, as I mentioned, Jake being a veteran, he's worked with Coach, with Josh, the goaltending coach. Of course, they have a relationship. But how did you meet Josh, and how do you guys work on a regular basis, I suppose?
Yeah, so I've actually known Josh for I think 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Yeah,
okay.
I met him at camp I did in Bemidji, and he's also from Colorado, so we kind of got a good connection there. And it was kind of one of the reasons also I came here was because of Josh, and he does a great job. He's stays in touch with us, and he's very well-minded in being a goalie and helps us out a lot.
Excellent. Well, I kind of leapfrogged over the part where how you got started, at what age you started playing hockey. But then I also wanted to ask at what point you decided, you know what, I wanna have puck shot at me.
Yeah. So I first started playing hockey when I was 5.
Okay.
My dad played hockey, so he kind of got me into it. And then I did 3 years of skating out, and then when I turned 8, that was probably when I decided I was going to be a full-time goalie. And I think it started with playing knee hockey. I just love making saves in knee hockey. And
Okay.
I also watched goalies on TV, and was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I should try that out, and I tried it out and didn't fall, and loved it ever since.
It's funny, when I was coaching in the developmental leagues, young kids here in the Cougar organization, they always like to play goalie until they realize how hard it actually is.
Yeah.
Getting down and then getting up, getting down and back. They just want to stand there, and it's like, no, you got to drop and then get back up as quick as you can, and then pretty soon they're like just sweating and going, no, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, though.
Mm-hmm.
People often think, I think that the skate-out skaters, because they're going back and forth, that goalies don't have to work that hard. It's not as easy as it may seem. Certainly takes a lot of hand-eye coordination as well. Okay, a couple of quick questions here, just kind of off of hockey. Would you rather be the best at something that no one really cared about, or just above average at something that was really popular?
Be the best at something that no one really cared about, probably. Yeah.
Interesting. I see what that question kind of does is kind of tells you how much you care about what other people think. And I was thinking to myself, usually goalies are pretty independent. They're pretty, like, I don't really care what other people think. I'm just going to do what I want to do. So I kind of saw that coming, actually. How about this? Would you rather have super sensitive taste or super sensitive hearing?
Ooh. Probably super sensitive taste. Yeah, because I don't know if I would want to hear stuff that I don't want to hear,
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably super sensitive taste.
Accidentally overhear somebody talking.
Yeah,
and go, oh, I don't think I was supposed to hear that. Okay, how about would you rather be alone your entire life or surrounded by mildly annoying people?
Probably have to be surrounded by annoying people. I don't know, I feel like if you're alone, you get like almost crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to be with people. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go a little stir crazy, probably.
Yeah,
no doubt.
probably.
Okay, how about your hobbies and pastimes? What do you do when you're not working on being the best goalie and playing hockey and with the guys? Do you have any hobbies that you're outdoorsman maybe? You hunt, fish, anything like that?
Yeah, this summer I did play a little golf, but last year we would always play frisbee. I love doing that. We live like right next to a field, and we'd always just throw the disc for hours, and so that's probably one of my favorite things to do.
So not like disc golf, but just playing catch.
Frisbee. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How about game day routine and or any superstitions that you may have? How does a game day look for you?
Yeah. So usually after morning skate, me and a couple of the other boys will make a pretty good breakfast, eggs, bacon, bagel sandwich, and then I'll go down and like take a 45-30 minute nap, maybe watch a movie or something, and then get another meal. Our billets are pretty awesome about making meals for us, and then just shower, get ready, and I always do a juggle routine that I do before games, and that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got Austin coming up, a road trip over to Austin to play the Bruins. First off, what is something on the bus? There haven't been all that many road trips this year.
Yeah.
But, in a standard year when there isn't COVID issues, well, I know there's a lot more travel involved and stuff, but what is something that you have to take on the bus with you that you cannot get on the bus without?
Probably my pillow, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just need that, to sleep or just to be comfortable on the bus.
Pillow's definitely a go-to, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What have you guys got to do as a team against Austin to come away with some points on the road? It's not easy playing on the road, especially in a place like Riverside.
Right, yeah, I think we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. We know what some of their tendencies are, and just got to study them and do what we keep on doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Work ethic continues to be a theme, it seems like, and I talked with Coach Langer about that a little bit ago here too, but it just seems like, as long as you just keep that drive, like you said, every time I talk to somebody, they say, we've got to keep doing what we're doing. And that's really as simple as it comes, because when you're rolling on wins like you guys are, there's not a lot to change.
Right, yeah, and we can't get bored of winning. Like, we got a target on our back, so we got to keep on going.
For sure. All right. Well, Dominik, I appreciate you coming on the show. That's really all I've got, but really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to let people kind of get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. Well, Friday and Saturday, as I mentioned, folks, February 26th and 27th at Austin. Puck drop at 7:05 both nights. Watch the game at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or on HockeyTV.com. Listen at 94.1 The Rock, HubCityRadio.com, or the Rock app on your mobile device. Next home games are Friday and Saturday, March 5th and 6th, again against the Austin Bruins. And the Yelda Shrine Teddy Bear Toss will be Saturday, April 3rd, so plan on that, folks. Mark it on your calendar when we host the Minnesota Wilderness. Corporate night sponsorships are available for home games throughout the 2020-2021 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Again, Dominik Wasik, appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of time here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, folks, that'll pretty much wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.